Look, it's 2022, and I thought what better way to start the year than with a positive Detroit Pistons video, because the last few videos I've made on the Pistons, apart from talking about Cade Cunningham, there has not been many positives at all. There really has not. There just hasn't been, okay? And, well, also shout out to everyone who watched my channel last year as well. Thank you for that. But let's not waste any more time on that. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons and the positives that have come out of this last 10 or so games, which have been a rabble in some aspects, but in the aspects that actually matter, well, we've seen some silver linings, in particular, Hamidou Diallo and Saddiq Bey. Two guys that we really wanted to see shine, and two guys that have shone in the last 7 games with a lot of players missing, and the Pistons being the worst team in the NBA, having the worst record, all of these things. You look past that and you see two guys that have been balling out, in particular Saddiq Bey, and that's what we need to talk about. Because I'll be honest, I'll be completely transparent. I haven't watched every one of the Pistons games recently. I can deal with the losing. I've watched the last several years where they've lost a ton. That's not bothered me, but at times, when you've got a bunch of players that you don't even know, that you have no affiliation to, that won't even be on the team within the next few weeks, it's kind of hard to get excited for that. So I've gone back, obviously had to watch some of the games to get more of an understanding of what these guys have done, and obviously I haven't missed all of the games, so I've still had an understanding, but just getting that transparency out of the way, I have not watched every Detroit Pistons game, and it's not because they're losing, but if there is reason to watch these games, it's because of these two guys, and these two guys only recently. Let's start with Saddiq Bey. Also, drop a like in the video, that would be cool, but let's start with Saddiq Bey, because after what was... Let's not put it lightly, it was an awful start to the season. An absolutely awful start to the season where I started to question, what is the next step for Saddiq Bey? Where is he going from here? Because it wasn't just a slow start. No, through 25 games, Saddiq Bey was shooting under 30% from 3. He was shooting 34% from the field. And it was more than just the numbers. Everyone can have shooting slumps and all of that stuff. He had lost his confidence, he had lost his willingness to shoot, even on open three-point shots, and he was getting a lot of them. It just looked rough, which was a complete shock when you consider just last year, as a rookie, he was the Pistons' second best player, which is saying something about Detroit, but also what Saddiq Bey was able to do as a rookie, in which he looked like the prototypical 3-and-D wing. He was knocking down threes with ease. He even showed the ability to take players off the dribble. He had a couple of huge performances. I remember one against the Boston Celtics in which he dropped 30 points, and their announcers were salty. I remember it. I love it. That was fantastic.
Bey. Oh, kidding me? Are you kidding me?
And he had all of those kind of performances, so to go that far down was slightly concerning. But now, well, now he has gone from not just regaining his form, no, he has got right up to the top of what Saddiq Bey can do, because over the last 7 games, he is averaging 24 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists on great shooting splits. He's shooting 45% from the field, and most importantly, he's shooting 38% from 3 on nearly 9 attempts a game. Oh, actually, as well, that is very important, he's shooting 7 free throws a game and doing it at 94%. That's what Saddiq Bey is doing currently on volume. He has been efficient, he has been effective, he's getting to the line, which you love to see, because if you want Saddiq to be the first or the second or the third option, any one of those things, a primary option, which all teams need multiple of those guys, if you want him to be that guy as a wing, he needs to be able to get to the free throw line, particularly if he's that good at the free throw line at converting. The more he can get there, the better. The shooting has come back. I didn't think any of us really questioned the shooting, but it's the other things that he's done inside the arc that has been most impressive, because even last year as a rookie, he shot the ball fantastically well, but in terms of finishing at the rim, he wasn't fantastic. He wasn't fantastic. To start the season, he was really poor as well. He just wasn't able to finish at the rim. However, recently, he started to finish at the rim a lot better. He's over 60% the last 7 games on over 4 attempts a game, and it was always surprising to me that he wasn't a good finisher. He just got to the right spots, he used his strength, but he'd always seem to leave it short or just misjudge players. I guess maybe that was just him adapting, but it seems like he's finally got used to that and he's adjusting, and there are a few examples where you say, like for instance, Look at this move on Mitchell Robinson. He takes him inside, gives him a little bit of a hook, but we'll allow that of course, and then finishes with a nice soft hook shot. Now he's always been capable of getting to these kind of spots and using his strength to attack defenders off closeouts, but so often last year and to start this season, he would leave that kind of shot short. He would just miss it, even though he's getting to the right positions, but now we're seeing it a lot more consistently, and you can see with these examples, you see another one here where he attacks the closeout and drives straight into the chest of the defender, finishing through contact. I'll continue to put some examples throughout the video, but it's just Saddiq starting to get a lot more confidence and seeming to find his touch at the rim. Obviously, he's benefited from Jeremy Grant and Cade Cunningham going out. He's getting more shots, he's got more confidence that he can attack the rim and do a little bit more with the ball, but at the same time, he was getting a lot of opportunities even when those guys were in there. So it's not like we should expect those guys to come back. Jeremy Grant might get traded, which I'll talk about when it happens because I expect that to happen at this point. If Saddiq Bey is putting up 25 points a game, it just seems logical that Jeremy Grant will be traded at some point in time. But we'll talk about that at a later date. But even if he comes back and you have Cade Cunningham, Saddiq Bey is still going to get a lot of shots from beyond the arc. He's still going to be used as a cutter. He's still going to get his opportunities. He was still averaging 13 field goal attempts while these guys were in the lineup prior to these last 7 games. It's not like they've gone out and all of a sudden his usage rate has just tripled. No, he's just got a lot more confidence and he's found his rhythm, which maybe that's what it took for it to happen. But now that he's got it, I don't expect that to change when he becomes the second or even the third option going forward. But let's talk about Hamidou Diallo as well, because, well, he has shown exactly why a lot of Pistons fans really wanted to see him get some minutes, because there was a period in time where there was a guy named Rodney McGruder. Yes, Rodney McGruder was getting minutes over Hamidou Diallo. Yes, there was a period in time in which Rodney McGruder would step on the court before Hamidou Diallo, where he was getting DNPs, not playing, not getting opportunity on the worst team in the league. He couldn't get a shot, and there was a reason he was frustrated. It looked like he was going to get traded at that point. It looked like it was all over between Hamidou Diallo and the Pistons because, for obvious reasons, he was frustrated that he wasn't getting any playing time, and when you see him drop back-to-back near 30-point games, well, you can understand why he was frustrated, because unlike Saddiq Bey, there has never been a question mark over his finishing ability, and in general, he's just been fantastic. Over the last 10 games, again, more increased opportunity, getting into the rotation and getting some serious minutes. He's averaging 15 and 5 on a ridiculous 58% from the field and even 35% from 3 on low volume, of course, but still, that's great. And if you're wondering why his field goal percentage is so high, I alluded to it before, but this man is a freak finishing at the rim. When you talk about freak athletes in the NBA, Hamidou Diallo is towards the top, pounds for pounds, what he can do. He's obviously vertical ability. We've seen it in the slam dunk contest, and we see it attacking the rim. I don't even really need to go into detail in these examples. I'll show you the clips, but he's got a really good ability to create those advantages, going to angles and using the glass with either hand, finishing with quite a soft touch for someone that doesn't shoot well from the line or from three-point line. I know it's completely different, but still, he's got a soft touch even on floaters, on runners, and particularly going away from his body, using either hands to lay up the ball. That's what he does fantastically well, and that's what has never changed and has just been better with more opportunity. With the ball in his hands, he can create those advantages attacking defenders and attacking the rim, or when the ball's not in his hands as well, he's a fantastic off-ball slasher. That's what he does well. So everything Hamidou Diallo has shown that he can do well, you give him more opportunity, you give him more minutes, he's doing that really well, and he's giving you 15 and 5, including a couple of near 30-point games the last 2 games. That's what Hamidou Diallo is doing. Also, side note, he's actually been really nice as a playmaker. His assist numbers aren't fantastic, but in terms of initiating, attacking the rim, and then kicking it out, and then creating offense through that way, he's shown off some ability there as a guard and his ball handling ability in that sense. So that's been fantastic to see. In general, there was no reason Hamidou Diallo was getting no minutes at the start of the season. It was a bit of a crime, honestly. Will I ever understand that decision from Dwayne Casey, who I have not really defended, but also said you don't have to come for his neck as much? Just, he makes some questionable decisions that at the time look questionable, and 15 games later, when Hamidou Diallo is doing this, they look even more questionable, which isn't good for you, Dwayne. It's not good for you. But anyways, let's look at the positives and the positives that are after a very rough season, and the season continues to be rough, but at the same time, you've got two of the biggest silver linings you could hope for, particularly Saddiq Bey, I think, because I think his shooting going forward, if he can be that near 40% three-point guy on volume, the wonders this will do for Cade Cunningham's playmaking. Not only will his assist numbers skyrocket, but also he'll have more opportunity to drive and attack because he's someone that can finish at the rim and use his size. It just makes the game a lot easier for everyone on the team. Killian Hayes, you name it, having Saddiq Bey as that lethal shooter, and then also as someone that can take the ball out of the hands of Cade, maybe down the stretches of games, and create for himself, get to the line. Oh, it's great to see. It is great to see that Saddiq Bey has not only got back to what he was doing last year, but he is far exceeding it. That's really all I've got to say. The Detroit Pistons are the worst team in the NBA, but over the last 7 or so games, seeing Saddiq Bey and Hamidou Diallo ball out with the impending return of Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes, Isaiah Stewart, it's great to see. It's great to see. Now all you have to do is trade Jeremy Grant. I like Jeremy Grant, but trade him away, get some more assets, get another top draft pick, and we're rolling again. That's all I'm going to say. Have a nice day. Happy New Year.